Welcome to another episode of Operation American Dream. I'm your host today, Amy Scruggs. We have got a really special episode today with two dynamic doctors in different practices that are going above and beyond to make a difference for our heroes and our veteran community. We're also going to be talking to a wonderful woman who started a foundation supporting military wives called Wives of War. And we're going to be showing you the footage that we did on the USS Midway when we were out there for the movie premiere of No Greater Love. It's going to be a fantastic episode, so we're going to get started right now. We're back with Operation American Dream. I'm your host today, Amy Scruggs, and I have a delightful guest with us right now, Bridget, who created the foundation called Wives of War. So we're going to get right to Bridget. Hi there. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Amy. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to hear your story and talk about what it is you do. Now, you have an interesting background being from South Africa. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm, right.
So tell me a little bit about where you came from and how you ended up here.
Yeah, so I was about 19 when I moved here. Late 70s, and I moved with my family, and then my husband joined me, and we got married and had our children. And I've always wanted to be a writer, and so that's what I became. So when we moved to San Diego, I was writing for the San Diego paper, for the North County Times, and I had a column called It Matters. I think I had it for like 15 years or something.
Oh, wow.
Quite a while. Yeah. So one of the things, it was sort of towards the beginning of the war. And you were hearing just a lot about the soldiers and the guys coming back with traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress. And I really wanted to know. I had two young kids at home, two young teenagers, and I wanted to know. And it's hard being a mom in the best of times.
Right.
It's hard, even if you've got a supportive husband and great kids.
I agree. I know.
Right? it's a lot of work, and it can be very hard. And if you don't have enough support, it can be very lonely and overwhelming.
Right. So you saw a need specifically with military families, am I correct?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I started interviewing, the people coming back, and then I wondered how was it for the spouses. So I called the media chief at Camp Pendleton and said, I'd like to interview one of the spouses to see how it's affecting her. And at the time, it was just female spouses that I was focusing on.
Right.
And so he said, come on over, I've got a family for you to meet. So I did, and I spent the day with this family. And I remember talking to the wife and asking, her husband had been very severely injured. He'd been shot in the head by a sniper in Iraq. They had two kids the same age as my kids, young teenagers. And she was completely exhausted and overwhelmed. And I remember saying to her, like, what do you do for fun? What do you do for yourself? And she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, why? What do you mean fun? And it just really stuck with me.
So you started a foundation from that moment, and that was kind of an aha moment for you? And you started the foundation Wives of War.
Yes.
And you have a couple other co-founders with that, correct?
Yes, I have an amazing team, because there's just no way anyone can do anything like this.
It takes a village.
It does. So the first person I started it with was Tamadoom Lau, and we were doing a writing and art workshop at the Salvation Army and at two homeless shelters. And we would go there together, and we would do poetry and painting and take our flowers and take cookies and tea. And we just saw how comforting and wonderful it was just to all be together, and how creative people got in really tough situations.
So you noticed that it started to grow at that point. Did you see other families coming in and wanting to have that art therapy and the help?
Right.
And now you've expanded it into retreats.
Yes.
So tell me about the retreats and what you guys are doing.
So we try and have retreats quarterly, weekend retreats. And we recognize, and we have two other women in our team, Joyce Noblet-Herald, and she's a therapist, and Diana Bishop, and she's a military spouse herself.
Wow.
As well as being a therapist and drama therapist. So we just all believe very strongly that the arts are just a real wonderful way to help process trauma.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So what kind of arts? And tell me more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so we'll find like we'll rent a vacation home in Fallbrook, for example.
Oh, how nice.
Yes, so it's just a very comfortable, kind of homey setting. And we'll have great food, and we'll do, some kind of an art therapy, some kind of, expressive arts, painting or bookmaking. We've had music therapists come in. We even had a drama therapy one time.
Oh, how exciting. And are you noticing that it's growing and you're getting more and more participants that are wanting to be a part of this?
Yes, we are.
And tell me, do you have women that they just come once and then that's it? Or what do you notice as far as, do they repeat? Do they come back?
That's a really good question, because mostly they come back. Most of the time they come back. At our last retreat, we had one of our first women come back from, she's gone to live in Arizona, gone back home, and we flew her out here from Arizona to be with us, and another spouse, she's actually a veteran as well, as being a caregiver. She came from Texas.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, yeah, the women, once they come, they just find it's a safe place to be, and they really connect with one another, and they feel like they have this.
What an incredible blessing that you're being to these women, and what an incredible need that they have for this. We can go to your website of Wives of War, correct? Wivesofwar.com.
Yes.
.org. Okay, wivesofwar.org, and people can get involved and donate and be a part of it?
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful. I can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing your heart and your story with us and what you're doing for everybody. It was such a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you so much,
much.
Amy. It's a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Operation American Dream.
We have a winner! Johnny, you won! You won!
Grandma?
There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't right. I know, but I wasn't right. I wasn't, you hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
Welcome back to Operation American Dream. I'm your host today, Amy Scruggs, and we have a dynamic guest, Dr. Roddy Carter. He is author, he is a corporate leader, he is a physician, he is a scientist. I cannot do justice his background, so we're going to get right to Roddy. Roddy, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Amy. Special honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Excited to talk to you. I would love for you to get right into your background because it's so exciting. You're from South Africa,
Yep, born
but
and
you have an
raised.
incredible background there before you brought your talents here to us in the States. So please tell me about that.
Super. Well, I'm going to kick off your dream because this is all about dreams, your program, right?
Yes.
And I've had a very lucky life, and born and raised in South Africa, qualified as a physician, done some really cool things. And the first half of my life, I was specialized in exercise and sports medicine, looked after international athletes.
Wow.
My job was to help them put the science behind mental, physical, and emotional preparation so that they could win medals at the Olympics. Moved from there into the pharmaceutical industry, biotech industry, doing research, and introduced HIV and AIDS drugs to South Africa. Did some very interesting cardiovascular research, and right while I was at the top of my career, two big things happened. I realized I wasn't going to reach my dreams, and I wasn't happy.
Wow.
And that's a bad place to be.
That's a big
bad
moment.
place to be. And this was the guy who understood how to prepare human beings to be the best human beings they could be. But I was not doing that. And so I timed out. I said, you get one chance. No rewinds, no replays, and I had to fix this. I had time ahead of me still, and I had to fix it. So that's what I did. I set about healing myself physically. And there were some surprises in that too, because as I healed myself physically, I unlocked happiness that I didn't even realize I'd locked away. So having achieved that, having seen what is possible in this earthly life, I said I have to get back to those patients that I left 20 years ago, and that's what I do today. So today I help people be the best possible human being they can be.
That's incredible. I read that you had said that only a small percentage of humans actually achieve what real happiness looks like.
Correct. And I talk about wealth, W-H-E-A-L-T-H, and I'm a little naughty with the way I spell it, but it's very deliberate. Because what I realized, having chased wealth with a W for many years, I suddenly realized that that wasn't where I should be investing my time or my energy. And it took a couple of big, nasty experiences to get there. But then I changed, and I realized that when I lived the way I was designed to live, because Mother Nature is perfect, no accident. She set us up biologically to have health, happiness, and prosperity. And I lump those into the term wealth, W-H-E-A-L-T-H.
I love it. I can only imagine the people that you helped, especially in sports medicine and you know, helping create champions. And I know that you took that and have created the Wealth Warrior Project to now help our champions here.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're doing with that.
That's a beautiful way of phrasing it. Yeah. So I'm doing the most exciting work of my life, and I'm helping, where I was helping Olympic champions before, I now help regular life champions, because we all should be champions. Mm-hmm. But all the time I've had this deep passion and care for veterans. And I came to this country from a troubled country. My children were being raised under pretty severe political and then criminal violence. And we arrived here, and honestly, we were just here for a short time. I was invited to work here, and then we were going to go back. And we saw our kids' lives absolutely transformed, living in peace and freedom.
Wow.
We know what it means, and it's been the greatest gift we've had. And we know that it doesn't come for free. And there are brave men and women every day who are paying the price, sometimes a big price, sometimes a small price, but always a price for us to live in this beautiful peace and freedom. So I owe, and I owe a lot. And I have this gift, and I have this talent, and I'm helping people change their lives. And so I said, we're going to take it to veterans as well.
That's fantastic.
And I started something called the Wealthy Warrior Project. And names are important, because when we call a warrior wealthy, that's what they're going to be.
Puts them in the mindset, right?
And you got it, because so much of that's happening in the brain, in their neuroscience. So that's what we do. We help veterans be wealthy. And it's a tough challenge, particularly coming out of the military, returning to civilian life. There are huge challenges in that. And there are a lot of organizations that help these vets and help find jobs, get your resume, network to the right places. But the big changes are in here and in here. And that's where I think we need to do more work.
And that's where you can see transformation happen.
Totally.
You wrote an incredible book here, Body Wealth.
Yeah.
You're working on some other great projects real quick, if you could just take a second.
Yeah, I'm doing some super work, and I'm going to push a name here. There's a wonderful friend and a colleague that I have, Dan Sheehan.
I think you brought me a copy of that one right
I
here.
brought his books.
You're
He's
working
got two
with him on a
beautiful
project.
Books.
Wonderful.
He's a veteran, came out of 2 deployments, and he went through some of the toughest challenges that you can face, and faced them with incredible courage. And he has landed in civilian life, what I call wealthy. So he and I are working together today, and we're got some projects down the pipeline which are going to be really exciting. And I hope you get to meet him.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him. Thank you for making that connection. I'm going to reach out. Sure. So excited to meet you today. Thank you for the work that you're doing for our heroes, and clearly the passion that you have of seeing people have their aha moment and make true transformation. I can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing.
Well, it's
awesome.
an honor, Amy, and you do spectacular work. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back with more Operation American Dream. Operation American Dream. I'm your host today, Amy Scruggs, and we have in the studio right now Dr. Charles Zahedi, and he is a dentist, has an amazing practice, but has taken it about 10 notches up on what he does for our veterans. So I want to introduce him right now. Dr. Charles, may I call you Dr. Charles?
You can call me Charles.
Charles, even better.
Can I call you Amy?
Yes.
Perfect.
I prefer that.
We have a deal.
I have many nicknames. Amy is the best one.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on our show today.
My pleasure.
You started a foundation called Dentists for Veterans.
Yes, I did.
First of all, you're already a hugely successful dental practice in your background. Tell me a little bit about your background before we get into the foundation.
So, you know, I've been doing dentistry for 27 years and mostly doing, you know, reconstructive surgery and implant dentistry and periodontics. I'm honored to be also on the UCLA faculty, Periodontics, Department of Periodontics.
Fantastic.
Yes, I teach on Fridays. And I discovered many years ago that there's a sad reality in our country, is when our soldiers come back defending their country and our freedom, and they go to a VA hospital, they say, well, we have dental problems. We have problems with our mouth. And the VA would respond to them, well, we're so sorry, we can't help you, because to help you, you have to be 100% disabled, not 99%, 100% disabled, or a former prisoner of war or service-related. So what does that mean? Roughly 22 million people in this country use their VA hospitals. 21.5 million of them don't get dental care. And you cannot be totally healthy if you don't have oral health.
Oh, absolutely.
So why spend billions of dollars and millions of dollars and healing the rest of the body when you don't provide funding to treat the oral cavity dental problems? So, you know, President John F. Kennedy said something very interesting. He said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. So, you know, as an immigrant, somebody who loves this country and freedom that it has given me and my family and the protection, I felt it's my obligation to provide, you know, support. So I ended up, as you know, has been documented, over $500,000 of my own private savings to help veterans. But I thought by doing this, I will create a awareness. Because most Americans, if you go in our cities and you tell our citizens, did you know that if our veterans go to the VA hospital, they don't get dental? They won't believe you. They don't know. So our job is basically to inform the public at like a grassroots movement, but also our politicians. Something has to be done in this country for the oral health of our veterans, because if we don't fix this problem, there will be no general health.
That's incredible that you have taken your own money, put it out there, and then now you also have sponsors and other people that come in to support it. But you have to have money in order to be able to treat these patients. It's not just going to come from nowhere. We need to bring an awareness so that when people are looking at ways, how can I get involved and support the veteran community? What a fantastic way, but contributing to making sure that they have their dental care. I was talking with a colleague yesterday whose parent at the last minute had a dental issue and was scrambling to find a place to take care of them just last week. The VA didn't cover it. Same story.
They don't.
I bring it up and people are telling me the same story over and over again.
But I think we're lucky in this country because we have 140 to 160,000 dentists. Most of my colleagues are very patriotic like I am. And I'm blessed that a lot of my colleague dentists offered help. But still we need money to pay for the lab fees, for the implants, for the bone grafts. So there's a lot of supplies.
Absolutely.
So creating awareness out there, maybe we get more support from the industry, dental industry, politicians, local politicians in San Diego, maybe in Washington, D.C. So finally, we have to find a solution at the political level that would say any veteran should get access to quality dental care.
I agree.
And not only like if you're 100% disabled. What about if you're 95% disabled? So I think your show is instrumental, and you as a person instrumental in putting the message out there so people who are watching this segment, and hopefully it's going to be blasted through media, social media, will tell each other, did you know that our veterans, when they go to a VA hospital, they don't get dental care?
Are you the only dentist in Dentists for Veterans, or do you have a team of dentists now that are partnered with you?
I mean, I'm so blessed. You know, you can't do this by yourself.
Right.
I don't want to give one name, because if I start to give one name, I made other doctors jealous. But we are a group of doctors.
You have a large group of doctors.
Yes,
wonderful.
a large group of doctors, and the number is growing. And I'm sure, hopefully, people who are watching this segment, if they are dentists, they would say, oh, I want to join.
They need to join this
they
organization.
They need to join
Absolutely.
in San Diego, other cities, you know, across the United States.
We need to make this
contagious.
contagious.
Contagious, exactly, yeah.
Well, I heard about your foundation, and it was a dear friend of mine that I used to tour with, Dave Adams.
Yes.
And he's part of a group of busking for veterans and vet hunters, and they told me about your foundation, and I said, how can we get involved? Let's come together. We're going to do a concert for you in North County on July 26th to raise awareness, and it's going to be Indian Joe's Brewery. And so that'll be about 5 o'clock, and Indian Joe's is also going to contribute to the cause with everybody that comes that night. So through social media, through the concert, through trying to bring awareness through Operation American Dream, we're going to do what we can, at least here in San Diego, and through our social media outreach to try to bring awareness. But I'm so glad that you brought this up, because we need more dentists to join on to give another helping hand.
Yes.
And we also need people that are looking to support a foundation to reach out and become a part of what you're doing to help with people's care, because you're right, medical care and dental care is just as critical to all of the other medical needs that they have.
Absolutely.
The website is
DennisForVeterans.org.
Wonderful.
Very simple. Dennis plural for veterans.org.
So we can go and check that out.
Yes.
I'm excited to continue to support your foundation and
Thank
do
you,
a
Amy.
benefit concert for you. And we're going to maybe have you back in the future and see how else we can support and what other events you've got coming up to support your foundation. Thank you so much, Charles.
It was my pleasure.
For being a part of the show today.
Thank
we
you,
really
Amy,
appreciate
for having
it.
invited me.
Thank you. Everybody has a way that they can give back. Dentists for our veterans would be amazing. We'll be back with more Operation American Dream. Welcome back to Operation American Dream. I'm your host today, Amy Scruggs. And a couple weeks ago, we had a great opportunity. Craig Sewing and I together went out to the USS Midway for a film premiere called No Greater Love with film director Justin Roberts. He was a chaplain that was actually in war and put this film together about the brotherhood of war. And we had a great opportunity to interview him, some other great people. They had asked me to sing the national anthem, so of course I was excited to be able to do that. And we've got the footage for you so you can see all the great highlights coming up right now.
So here we are, the American Dream at the USS Midway with my favorite co-host, Amy Scruggs. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much for being here tonight as well. This is awesome.
So we're used to being in the studio, but now we are out at this iconic ship in America's finest city, and we got a great night honoring our military.
I'm excited to get to sing, and at least kick it off with the national anthem before the ceremony, but they're also showing the film No Greater Love that was done by Justin Roberts, a chaplain in Afghanistan, and so this is going to be a really moving time tonight.
Amy Scruggs, she's not just a talented co-host, she's a brilliant singer. We're going to go in there. You got to go warm up and sing, right?
I got to get ready and go meet the color guard.
All right, so we are going to go on the ship, and we're going to take you through just a really fun evening honoring our military. Ready to do this?
Let's go do it.
All right, here we go.
If I could have Nashville recording artist Amy Scruggs, if she'd be so kind as to join me on the stage. You're gonna, if you haven't heard her, this is quite a treat.
Silently streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So here we are with the film creator Justin Roberts, whose created this film, which has won many awards honoring our military, those who have served, those who have fallen, and now you're continuing to raise a lot of money for charities. Awesome work. Thank you. What inspired the movie?
Well, I mean, this is about my time and the soldiers' time in Afghanistan, the soldiers that I served with, and lessons that I learned from them, what they taught me. I was an active duty chaplain, and chaplains can't carry weapons in combat, so I was able to carry a camera.
Dave Varcardipone, who served in the Navy, now at the Coast Guard, and also the founder of First Fold. The movie itself is bringing a lot of insight to what happens after, not just the service, but what happens after, because obviously we're facing a lot of challenges as a country.
Domino effect with the families and loved ones when somebody's lost. You know, and that's pretty much what we do at First Fold too. Our pin represents those that have fallen.
The co-chairs of this amazing event, Patricia Marshall and Matt Shillingburg.
What it is with this whole event is to bring the civilian community with the military veterans to bring awareness of the Gold Star families, but also of veteran suicide, because 20 vets a day commit suicide. This film is very powerful and shows the brotherhood that is bonded in combat, but we also want to see that brotherhood and that bond with the San Diego community also.
What do you expect out of tonight's event?
I mean, the biggest thing out of everything, I mean, of course, the support is incredible, and we've had amazing support from a corporation called Pacific Sotheby's. They came in as our main sponsor, and they did a phenomenal job. But the biggest thing that we're hoping for is just to engage with the public about this conversation, about how do we come home from this war.
People in the audience to understand the sacrifices that were made from those individuals that are not here with us anymore. Hopefully that's what they'll take from this.
The whole idea is to honor 4 charities, and with honoring those 4 charities, the USO, American Legion, Angels of Our Fallen, and Operation Engage America, they ultimately go down to the Gold Star families.
Well, so what we're looking at doing is this is our first of what we're calling Patriot rallies, where we come together, we have music, we have the film, we have support for local veteran charities, and then we go to the next place and the next place. And all of this is leading up to our theatrical release in the fall.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for creating this movie. He's been winning awards. Tonight's going to be a fun evening, but also honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Justin, thank you.
25 seconds.
Sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart. It's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Give her a hand, please.
I never get tired of the great segments and guests that we have on this show. It is so much fun. People doing great things for great causes, making a difference in the lives of our heroes. This was a fun time today. Make sure and follow us on the YouTube page with Operation American Dream. Go to social media, find us on Facebook, like, share, and don't miss the next episode.